This is for my clients that do not know I'm transitioning into MMA out of barbering, and basically the people that I haven't really talked to about this subject with. So this is for you guys. One of the reasons why I haven't talked about this with you guys is because when you guys sit in my chair, I want to make the entire experience about you. I want to know what you've been feeling like throughout your week. I want to know if you're good in your head or not. I want to know what you've been happy about recently, right? You and your spouse, whatever it may be that's going on in your life. I just want to be there and listen and be curious and hear you guys out. That's it. If you guys do want to know a bit about me and you guys start reciprocating questions and whatnot, absolutely, I'm an open book and I love to share. But you guys would be surprised how often nobody asks about me. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I simply mean that in an honest way, that if people aren't asking, about how my girlfriend's doing or how my siblings are doing or anything about my personal life, I'm not just going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to California and I'm going to go do this and that. Like, if they didn't ask, it means they don't give a fuck. So I'm not just going to bring that upon them. So now that's out the way, I've been cutting hair since I was 13 years old. I'm 26 now, and at 13 I also started training MMA, full mixed martial arts, boxing, jiu-jitsu, grappling, all of those things. And when I started, I knew that I wanted to be a pro at fighting when my body was fully developed. Meaning, once my body had fully grown into its shape at 25, 26, I would be then ready to fully commit to competing and doing it full time for a living. The reason why I didn't do it at 21, 22 years old, 23 years old, is because my bones just weren't dense enough and my frame overall hadn't been fully grown into. So I was still a young man, and I still am, but now I feel like my bones carry the density that they need. And if I compete, I'm not gonna get out-muscled or beat by strength when it comes to competing with guys that are older than me or in general. So that was step number one, was waiting to the right time that my body was ready to compete. And here we are, and now we're ready to go. Number two is I simply enjoy fighting and the art of it way more than the art of barbering. In barbering, there's so much things that I don't like and I do like, but more things that I don't like. For example, it's a very unhealthy community. I've worked alongside hundreds of barbers over my decade of experience in different barbershops, working side to side by them. And they're just super unmotivated individuals that eat fucking burritos for lunch and eat like shit all day. And when they get out of work, they fucking go home and put their feet up, watch shows, smoke weed, drink beer, and just live a lifestyle that isn't conducive to the way I live my lifestyle. Therefore, it was always hard working alongside these people because I was just so much different than them. They have tattoos on their fucking neck or some barber pole coming out of their throat. And you guys see me, I tell people I'm a barber all the time. They're like, really? And when it comes to fighting, it's so much more meaningful and so much more purpose fulfilled into it, where when I'm waking up every day and I'm going to these gyms, grappling these black belts on the ground, doing jiu-jitsu with these guys that have been doing it for 20 years, I get humbled very fast. I lose more times than I win when it comes to just grappling and a lot of other domains, but it's so much more meaningful because how difficult it is, how hard it is. When I go cut hair and I deal with some Karen or some angry ass mom that's complaining I went too short on some kid's hair, that's as hard as my day's gonna get. Or whatever it is, like the amount of difficulties on a day-to-day basis is completely different. Getting home, my back being fucking sore as shit, like I can't even walk, my whole body hurts. That's when I know I'm really doing everything that I can do with my life and pushing myself to the full limits and extremes. And one of the main reasons why I also fight is just because I have so much animosity and emotion and anger built up in me that I've had since I was a child, that just won't leave my body unless I exert my energy out this way. And it's something that works for me. People can view it how they want to view it in different ways, but for me, if I'm gonna get paid money in a full-time living and not have to go to work and do a job for beating the fucking living shit out of someone and like essentially giving an ass whooping for a living, I would absolutely do that. I would absolutely fuck someone up for the privilege to not have to wake up and go to a 9 to 5. That's my perspective on it. I'd rather have freedom of having to fight a few fights a year, chill, cut hair whenever I want, and live life on my terms. Obviously, I can't fight forever, so my time frame on my career is gonna be from 27 to 37 at max. If I'm able to, get in the game and get out earlier, by all means I will, but this career is also just a time frame in my life and a phase and a time period where it's only temporarily. And then after my MMA career, I'll then transition to something else out. But that's just a little bit of what goes in behind all these things. I'm trying to think of anything else people would want to wonder about. Overall on this channel, I'm going to be just having things that go in my head, ideologies, concepts, theories of the way I view the world, and my opinions and takes on things. So this is kind of just a summary of where I'm at mentally when it comes to my MMA career. So I hope it kind of gave you guys an overall idea of it. And if you guys have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them down below.